really excited about this because it's the first time I'm going to deliver a talk in Malayalam. ഒരുവിധം എല്ലാവർക്കും മലയാളം അറിയാമെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ മേബി നമുക്കൊരു മിക്സ് ഓഫ് മലയാളം ആൻഡ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഈ ഡെവോപ്സ് മലയാളം എന്നുള്ള കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിനെ പറ്റി എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ ദ പ്രീവിയസ് ഇയർ ആണ് ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കേൾക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ ഇസ്റ്റിയോയിൽ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്ത് സ്റ്റിയറിംഗ് കമ്മിറ്റി മെമ്പറൊക്കെ ആയ സമയത്താണ് എബിൻ ജിജോ ഇവരെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്യണത് ഒരു ടോക്ക് ഡെലിവർ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ഡെവോപ്സ് മലയാളം എന്നുള്ള ഒരു പേര് കേൾക്കുന്നത്. എനിക്ക് അതിന് മുന്നേ അങ്ങനെ മലയാളത്തിലുള്ള കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഉണ്ട് എന്നുള്ള ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഉള്ളതായിട്ട് അങ്ങനെ അധികം അറിയില്ലായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ടോക്ക് ഡെലിവർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞപ്പോഴാണ് ഞാൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ഈ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി മെമ്പേഴ്സായിട്ട് മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിനുശേഷം ഒരുപാട് പേര് ഈ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി മെമ്പേഴ്സ് ഒരുപാട് പേര് എന്നെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, എന്താ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക, ഇതുപോലെയൊക്കെ ആവാൻ, അങ്ങനെ ഒരുപാട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചിലർ മെസ്സേജ് ചെയ്ത് ലിങ്ക്ഡിനിലും സ്ലാക്കിലൊക്കെ മെസ്സേജ് ചെയ്ത് ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്തവണ ഞാൻ ഈ നാട്ടിൽ വരുന്ന ഒരു സമയം ഈ ഇവൻ്റായിട്ട് കോയിൻസൈഡ് ആയപ്പം ഏത് ടോക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏത് ടോപ്പിക്കിനെ പറ്റി ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചപ്പം സോ ഐ ഫെൽറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് this talk would be the best one to get started more than a technical talk. I felt there are many people who are trying to understand what the cloud native computing foundation is and how you can get started with any of the projects within the CNCF or how overall to get started in open source. So that's why I picked up this talk as this keynote talk. So maybe we'll just touch upon not very in-depth things, but I will give a high-level overview of where to get started and how to do contributions. And if you're like clueless on how to do your first open source contribution, I'm hoping that this will help you. Before getting started, I just want to tell this event is really special for me. Delivering a talk in Kerala. I studied here in Kochi, but after starting my work in Bangalore, I have never been for any business purposes to Kerala. That's one thing. And the second thing is this is the first time my family is coming for my talk. So usually, even if they come, they'll be like outside somewhere, and they've never been here. So my daughter, she's listening to me. Usually it's like she'll be on the stage and I'll be sitting there, and then for any of her events. But I think now she's just listening to me and checking if I'm making any mistakes on stage. So I'm currently on my maternity leave. I'm not working, so I really would like to thank my husband who drove me all the way till here, even if I'm on leave with a small baby. So that I can deliver this talk. So it's just a quick intro about me. A cloud native developer. So Ericsson Software Technologies, like the open source wing of Ericsson, where we prioritize Ericsson's 5G telco requirements in all the open source communities. So the open source communities I'm primarily involved in are like Istio and Envoy Proxy. Previous to this work, when I was in Bangalore also, I worked in Ericsson before. At that time, again, I was working on a Linux Foundation open source project called Open Daylight. I don't know how many of you know about Open Daylight. It was a software-defined networking controller. It was like one of the biggest open source projects at that time. But under the CNCF, Istio and Envoy are my primary experiences. And I'm an Istio steering committee member and a maintainer. And then I'm a CNCF ambassador. So one of my roles is like to travel to different places and talk about CNCF and educate people about what CNCF is and how to get more people to the community. So I think it's a 30 minutes talk, so maybe we'll quickly touch upon what CNCF is. Many people will be already knowing about it. And then what are the contributions that we can do. So many people think that you can contribute to open source if you know coding, only if you know coding, but that's not actually true. There are several ways in which you can contribute to the different CNCF projects, so we will just talk about all those opportunities. Since I am working in Istio, I would like to use Istio as an example to show how you can get involved. And then, of course, the process remains the same even if you pick any other open source project under CNCF. But maybe since I know more about Istio, we can use Istio to just talk about it. And then, I'll just quickly share about my open source journey. So how I started and how easy it was for me, so that you all get an idea how easy it is to be involved in open source. So what is CNCF? CNCF, or the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, is like the hub that hosts many open source cloud native projects. So it's like a platform where different open source projects come together, and the CNCF tries to bring in all the end users, vendors, and the communities together. For example, I'm really talking in English, so maybe I'll use Malayalam also in between. So, CNCF എങ്ങനെയാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, നിങ്ങളുടെ കമ്പനി ആവട്ടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ എലോൺ ഒരു ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് പ്രോജക്റ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചില കമ്പനീസിന് അത് ഫുള്ളി ഫണ്ട് ചെയ്യാനോ അഫോർഡ് ചെയ്യാനോ ഉള്ള കാപ്പബിലിറ്റി ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പുറത്തുനിന്നുള്ള സപ്പോർട്ട് ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു ക്യാൻ കോൺട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് ഓർ യു ക്യാൻ സബ്മിറ്റ് ടു കോൺട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് യുവർ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ടു CNCF. അതിന് വലിയൊരു പ്രോസസ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പം ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ലെവൽസ് ഉണ്ട്. അതൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ സബ്സിക്വൻറ്റ് സ്ലൈഡ്സിൽ പറയും. നിങ്ങൾ ആ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് CNCFിൻ്റെ ടെക്നിക്കൽ ഓവർസൈറ്റ് കമ്മിറ്റിക്ക് they think that the project or interested in the project, അങ്ങനെ അവർക്ക് തോന്നുവാണെങ്കിൽ they'll accept your project to CNCF as a sandbox for different maturity levels of the project. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it's not your own project. All the people, all the open source community members, they can contribute to your project. There will be different companies who are interested in your project. All of them will come together to have a diverse governance process for your project, and you also get a marketing engine for free. For example, all the end users and communities and vendors who are part of the overall CNCF, everyone can choose to support you and market for you. And you know about all the different CNCF events like the KubeCons and Open Source Summits and several other conferences. Everywhere you get like free marketing and free infrastructure which your project can leverage on to grow to further levels. So അങ്ങനെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസേഷനാണ് CNCF. So you can see here how many projects are already there under CNCF and many of the service mesh projects and several other projects. There are smaller sandbox projects as well, which are like working towards moving to maturity levels. As you can see, there are several people from different countries and different contributors who are working on the CNCF, which shows the overall diversity of the organization. Why you should be involved in CNCF? First and foremost, it is about the community. Of course, when you start, I heard Sharad talking about trying hard to get a mentor under the Linux Foundation or CNCF and not being able to do so. But if you are able to get a mentor, of course, you'll be able to upskill your cloud native skills and coding skills or whatever. But the most important thing about contributing to CNCF or any other open source project is about the community. You get a very diverse community with whom you can collaborate. You can talk to different people from different parts of the world and share your knowledge. And one thing I have seen is I used to mentor people under Linux Foundation or even in the CNCF. What happens is these people after some time will again join back to the open source communities because they are interested more to contribute back. And then what sometimes happens is like they will also turn to be mentors for other newcomers, and it's like way it forward. So that's one most important aspect of contributing to any other open source projects apart from just learning new skills. Most of the people even from this community sometimes ping me on Slack asking how do I get started and what can be done. So mostly any of the maintainers under these projects get this question often. Most of these things are already documented under the project documentation pages, but I thought it's best when delivered in a talk. If you see the CNCF landscape, it is very huge, as we already saw, like 188 projects are there, so most of the people will get confused where to get started and how to do if it is not supported by your company. So the first thing to do is know what your skills are and know what are the projects under the CNCF. I will tell you how to explore or browse through the different projects. And then before you go and try to work on Kubernetes or any other projects, it's best you do some certification. So I saw Sharat was already talking about Moonshot. Linux Foundation has a training and certification program which has all these certification exams like CKA, CKAD, CKS. I know that many of you people are already certified. If not, it would be the best thing to do. Go through some of these courses and do these certification exams before going and trying to fix the bugs. Or the thing is, most of the maintainers, they'll be busy. So we have a lot of things like we have to review the code and we have our own work to do new development and whatever. So sometimes it's very difficult when people individually ping us and ask how to get started or what can I do, can you help me, such things. So always it is the best to do some of these certifications or courses so that you know what you're going to do, and then start looking into one of the issues, or then you'll have the basic knowledge. Without that coming and asking people how to contribute, it's really tough to help. And if you have unknown terms in the cloud native community, for example, when you get started with any of the project, there will be different technical terms which you may not be able to understand. So CNCF has something called a cloud native glossary. It's a separate project where people try to, it's like a dictionary where all these terms and their corresponding meanings are explained. The project is called Cloud Native Glossary. So if you people are interested, you can even start contributing to that project. So what you do is, if you are an expert in a specific CNCF project, come to the Cloud Native Glossary team and then help them with these terms and explaining that, and then the project in many of the terms. So this project will help you with all the terms and their meanings. And the contribution opportunities. So as I told, it's not just about code and technical contribution. Apart from technical contribution, there are a lot of non-technical contributions you can do for CNCF. Of course, the mentorship and tags are about the technical part, so you have to be not fully technical. Sometimes there will be mentorships on the documentation projects as well. The tags or the technical advisory groups, that is again about the technical part. But the other things, the ambassadors, the community groups, and other similar things we'll talk about later, they are for the non-technical contributors. So are all of you from the technical background, or other people from non-technical background as well? Most of the people look like from technical. Even if you're a technical person, I know that Ebin is a CNCF ambassador. Similarly, I think he's the only one from here. I am there, but I think Ebin and I have seen Humble and some of the people as CNCF ambassadors. So what CNCF ambassadors do is, they are the people who talk about CNCF in different places, and they host meetups or they blog about CNCF and help to reach the CNCF terminologies and CNCF initiatives to the wider audience. So you can be a CNCF ambassador if you're already doing all these work, like if you're blogging about CNCF or if you're hosting any local community events or meetups. I will show how to apply for CNCF ambassadorship, and you guys can see if that suits you. And yeah, community groups. I think there is already a community group in Kochi for the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. It's called a CNCG Kochi. I think most of the people are already here, whoever is members of the CNCG Kochi. So similarly, we have CNCGs all around the world. There is a web page for it where all the CNCGs are listed down. So if you are actively working under any of those CNCGs as organizers for hosting meetups, or if you are blogging about CNCF, those are all considered as CNCF contributions, and you should definitely be involved in engaging with the wider community of CNCF. About how to explore the CNCF projects, so that's very important to know where to look for the CNCF projects. So I have provided a link here, different CNCF projects listed down there, all of them. So it's like, you can see that CNCF has different maturity levels for the project. So if you're a new project coming into CNCF, you'll be called a sandbox project. It's like very beginner level project with some cool ideas, which the CNCF thinks, yeah, it's relevant to be under the CNCF. So they are called like sandbox projects. If you see, 116 sandbox projects are there. And then the next level of maturity is called incubating projects. So each of them has different checklists to be satisfied before you move to the next level. Those are like beginner level projects, and once you move to an incubating project, it's like you're showing adoption by companies. So some companies have started using your project, and the CNCF has a technical oversight committee which checks and decides, okay, your project can move now one level up. And then the graduated projects are like really stress tested and recommended projects by CNCF, like Kubernetes, Istio, and many other projects are the graduated ones. So they're like, they do regular security audits, and they have like very diverse governance, not like a single company doing everything, but it's important that for open source projects, it's very important that you have multiple companies supporting the project. Otherwise, it's not considered as sustainable, right? So all those things have to be satisfied to be a healthy graduated project. So you can see that there are 26 graduated projects, and once in a while, different projects will apply to move to higher levels, and the TOC keeps revising and checking whether this project is really ready or not, and then that's how they move the level up. So apart from the CNCF landscape, this Contributor is the project where if you go to this Contributor page, you have issues. So this is something which all the beginners can use. If you go there, you can see each project, if they think that they have certain issues which are very easy to fix for newcomers, they will tag those issues like good first issue or good beginner issue or something like that. All those issues will be listed under the Contributor. So if you want to make a contribution, head first to this web page where you can see all these issues listed down, and you just click on it and go to the respective issue, and then maybe you can express your interest saying, okay, I would like to work on this issue, and then some of the maintainers from those projects might help you to get started, because those are, sometimes it will be just like fixing a typo or very small things, so it's easy for beginners. How to do it, mostly will be explained there itself. If not, if you try to contact the originator of the issue, they will help you and let you know how to fix it. So this, I would say, is the first thing a beginner can take a look at. I'm not planning to go through this whole list. It's the CNCF landscape. If you see, there are more than 100 projects, and each of these projects are categorized into different categories. You can see that your app definition and orchestration, runtime, all these are different categories. Under that, different subcategories, and all the projects, 100 plus projects, are categorized into one of these. So it's like a huge list. But this is how CNCF landscape looks like. I was not able to take a screenshot. I talked about CNCF ambassadors, so this is what it is. We do have certain CNCF ambassadors here. So yeah, head to this link, whatever is mentioned here. If you think you're already doing the work for a CNCF ambassador but not recognized as a CNCF ambassador, every year, I think once or twice, they open up the applications for CNCF ambassadorship. So you can submit your application and explain why you think you are eligible to be call a CNCF ambassador, and they will review your application. And if they think that okay, this person has been doing enough work for the community, so you'll be accepted as a CNCF ambassador, and that comes with a lot of benefits and opportunities for you for many of the certifications. I know that they do give discount vouchers for doing many of the CNCF certifications. Even for the KubeCon registrations, you will get benefits. And but the thing is, once you are a CNCF ambassador, you have to continue doing whatever you are doing for the for CNCF. Like every month, they will keep reviewing like what you have done the previous month for a blogging or at least something you should have. It's not like you just get qualified and then keep sitting there. So they will continuously monitor and revise whatever you are doing. In Kochi, we have one. So many of these activities are tagged under that specific CNCG. I think DevOps Malayalam. This conference is already, I think, promoted by the CNCG Kochi chapter. And then, yes, if you are already a technical person and you are please, you can get started as head to the CNCF tags, the list. So different tags or the technical advisory groups are there. So it's open meeting, so any of us can join, but to be the chair or co-chair, of course, you have to show like consistent participation and expertise. And before that also, you can keep participating in the meetings. It's like the CNCF tags. There are different tags like the security, sustainability, and for each group, there will be one tag, and many projects will be categorized under that tag, and this is the committee or the group that oversees this whole project direction, and then they keep giving inputs to the technical oversight committee of the CNCF, because the TOC is like the biggest technical body for the overall CNCF projects, and these tags give information to TOC about the health of the 100+ projects. And if they think that some projects are at risk, whatever is happening, they keep giving the updates to the TOC. So if you think you're a technical person, and if you're like a security person or sustainability person or a networking person, there are specific tags which you can start attending the meetings. Meetings mostly will be weekly or bi-weekly, so keep joining so you get to network with people. You'll see how the chairs or co-chairs are running the meetings and what they're discussing, and that's how you get started and see where you can get involved better. Very basic things if you are trying to contribute to an open source project. So for example, I have put one slide discussing how it was done for Istio, but all the time it's the same. So you have to have some basic idea about the Git pull requests and issues and all those things. Sometimes I see people not knowing those things, and if maybe you are a good technical person, but still some people are not much used to using Git, and then they will come there and then struggle with the pull request, and that gives a wrong impression to the other reviewers, and they feel like their time is getting wasted. So before you get started, make sure you choose the right project for you, and try to understand that community by joining the Slack channels or the communication medium, whatever they are using. See what they are talking there, and try to see whether you're able to understand it or not. And you have to know about Git pull requests and issues. And before starting on anything, first read the documentation and start with something very simple, maybe fixing something on the docs before moving to actual code, or fixing something with the integration test or unit test before developing any new feature. Yeah, that's all. Many people they already know about all these things, so I'm not planning to go into further details. And some other thing, how do we get help on getting started? So there is this program called the CNCF mentorship program. Actually, it is not just for students. Anybody who is interested to get started on open source can submit their application. So I think it's like twice or thrice every year the mentorship applications will be open. So the different CNCF projects, some of us who are interested in getting students or open source beginners to work on some of our tasks, we will submit our project proposals. So if you head to the CNCF mentoring repository, you will get the links on where you can see all these project proposals. Go there and see if any of those projects are of your interest or matching with your skills. If it is, you can submit your application as well there. Only one thing we usually recommend is if you're already paid and employed by a company, people don't usually promote submitting your application because this is a paid internship. So it's a 3-month program and it is like paid, I think it's like $3,000 for 3 months, so they pay for you. So if you're already employed, usually we do not encourage many people to submit the applications, but if you're a student or if you're working part-time, of course you can do it. Even if you're working full-time, there are people I have seen applying for the mentorship program and getting selected because certain people, they don't have enough time to go into in-depth mentoring, so they look for people who are already experts and select those people as well. So we get applications from different people. It's up to the mentor who they want to select. Some people like to bring newcomers to the open source world, so they might just select students, but some others will be like they want experts. So these are the different things. So you can head on to these pages and see the different mentorship opportunities and apply. Yeah, so that already we talked about this. Contributions come in many forms. It's just not code. For the non-code, but you can see a lot of things from project management, community education, blogging. There are several things which you can contribute to. If you head to this website, you always see all these things and how to do it. You can even talk to me or ping me on Slack and discuss if you want to contribute for any of the non-code things. We even have the translation thing. I can see even for Istio, we have the Chinese translators who keep translating all our English pages to Chinese. I recently heard there is a Hindi page also for the Kubernetes. So similarly, there are translation teams also working on it. Yeah, CNCF events is another thing. So you would have heard about the Kubernetes Community Days, the KCDs. So these are the different CNCF events that happen. I just took a snapshot 2-3 weeks back. So these are the events that are going to soon happen in different parts of the world. So this is another way of contributing to CNCF. You can be part of the organizing team for all these things. Yeah, one other thing is the scholarships. So you would have heard for KubeCon scholarships, there are scholarships that are happening. It's like diversity scholarships, need-based scholarships, and I think maintainer scholarships are also there. So diversity is like to get the underrepresented people attend these events. And then for maintainers, it's like you're already an active maintainer for open source projects, but you do not have enough funds to travel for any of these events. So you can apply for these scholarships. And another one is need-based scholarships. So for example, CNCF mentees, if I get a mentee and he's working on something and he wants to travel for these events, he's a student, he doesn't have funds, he can also try applying. It's not like you always get it, but you have to apply, justify your application, and if they find it reasonable, you might get selected for these scholarships to attend many of the events. I think I just had a slide. We are already running out of time. So this is like the Istio's journey in CNCF. I don't want to talk much about it. So Istio is now a graduated project in the CNCF. It just shows how we were applied and how much time it took to move up to the level and when we were graduated. So if you want to get involved in Istio, which is one of the CNCF projects, so this is is what you have to do. I have given all the links here. If you have any doubts, you can put your doubts in the Istio Slack channels. Keep asking your doubts there. One of the maintainers will respond to you over there. So it's like that. So for me, it's like I did open source even before joining the CNCF, but for me, this last 3 years is where I was involved in the CNCF project. So I was working in Bangalore, and that's the time when this is my manager in Germany. So she contacted me asking they have certain open source requirements, whether I'd like to work there. So this is some people will be already knowing him. He's Frederick. He was a KubeCon chair for one of the previous KubeCons, and he is a very active member of the CNCF community. So these are the two people who invited me to work in these open source communities, and he's Ingo, my colleague in Germany, who keeps giving the 5G requirements or the telco requirements which Ericsson needs from the open source community. He communicates with me all those things, and then I take it to the open source community and implements things in the open source community so that Ericsson can take it to their internal projects. So many people who are involved in Istio, we already know John. So he's like one of the most prolific contributors in the open source. I think he's the top committers. The overall, if you take even if the overall CNC projects landscape, he's like the top contributor. So when I had my first requirement, he's the one whom I talked to, and he's the one who helped me. So it's like I was a beginner, but he's still responded to all my queries and then helped me implement things. Eric is another lead from IBM who was working in Istio at that time. He's retired now. So he's another great mentor there. Lynn, many people will be knowing Lynn. She is the technical oversight community. So what I want to tell is, if you are in open source and even if you are doing a small contribution, it will never go unnoticed. So for me, I made my first contribution. I was a newcomer in Istio at that time, but she talked to me and told, we want to do a session with you, a live session with you, where we want to talk about the contributions you did. That's how I started in Istio 1.14 release. At that time, I was a complete newcomer. And then Craig again talked to me saying, okay, now we are making a lot of contributions, you should apply for the steering committee membership. So I did not do it myself. There were several people who came to me and helped me. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to do the contribution, don't be like shy, just do your contribution. So if you're doing a good work, it will never go unnoticed, and there will be definitely people who will support you. Yeah, this is these two people I have worked. So it's like you have your own functional requirements for the community, but these are the two people who help you with the supply chain security related work, like the non-functional requirements also. There are several people who help us. This is my journey so far, how I started as a new contributor, did different contributions, and then I even worked as a steering committee member. I have worked with Istio Certified Associate exam as well. You would have seen the CP characters in Istio and the CNCF project, so this is another thing I have worked on. So these are all, many of these things are not for contributions which I have worked on. Yeah, that's all I had to talk about. So if you need any help with any of contributions to the CNCF, please feel free to reach out to me or refer to any of the resources I've already spoken about. I'll be around for some more time here, because you feel free to come to me and we can discuss further. Thank you so much.